We're talking about LinkedIn Live today with the one and only Chris Strub. Let's do this. Hey, boring business owners, and welcome to my channel where I help your message get seen in that cluttered newsfeed. If you're looking to crush it with social media and online marketing, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss any more videos from this channel that are going to help you with your social media and online marketing goals. So live video is kind of just popping up everywhere, and LinkedIn is, I think, one of the last ones to really do this. And Chris here is one of the very few people at the time of this recording that actually has LinkedIn Live. So he's gotten to play with it, he's gotten to use it, and so he's got some tips for us about what we need to know. So Chris, what's the jam with LinkedIn Live?
So first of all, thanks for having me on. This is super cool. I was just on the show like a month ago, and we get to do this all again in person, which is a lot of fun.
Make sure you guys go check out that podcast. Link in the
Great
card.
episode talking about Twitter, especially if you're here at Social Media Marketing World. It's awesome. Anyway, LinkedIn Live, what's really special about LinkedIn Live from a production perspective is the fact that you have to produce through a third-party app. I can even bring it up on my phone and show you. So I use an app called Switcher Studio, which allows you to create and add on lower thirds and put on graphics. You can pull the screen out and roll B-roll from your camera, your device. And there's a number of different third-party apps that you will be able to do LinkedIn Live through.
Yes.
I think OBS is the other one that's currently active. But there's going to be like 14 or 15 other third-party apps that you can produce through. That's a lot different, and it causes a little more of a challenge for your sort of sit-at-home kind of marketer.
Yes.
Because most people don't want to go to that third-party app. But the positive externality of it is that you're going to naturally create a higher quality video because you're using that third-party app, right?
So do you think LinkedIn is really focused, like, it's not just about creating any video, they want high quality video? Because this is professionals. It's a different thing. Like, this isn't like your mom or your dad or whatever. It's like anything that you pull up on your live, they're going to watch. This is strategic business lives.
And that is a key point of it. So in communication with the LinkedIn Live team, they say, Chris, we want to make sure that we're producing video that wouldn't really make sense on Facebook. Is something they've actually said multiple times, right? We want it to be a different experience. We want this to be something that professionals want to tune into and maybe learn from, right? So that might be a great step to start your strategy is what are you trying to teach? And that's a good thing to do with any sort of live broadcast.
What's the value in it?
But again, you and I, we create these shows and we're able to show off different social media skills and stuff. Most people on Facebook, though, when they use live video, they're just walking around and talking to their friends. So I think you and I, and the other professionals that are here at Social Media Marketing World, we're going to love LinkedIn Live because that's exactly what people are looking for on that platform is that high quality, Mark Schaefer calls it hygiene content. Where you're learning. I loved it, by the way.
You've taken a shower today, you should do a live.
Yes, so that's your other hygiene content, right? But you want to definitely have a purpose to what you're putting on LinkedIn because, again, these are the people that are looking to either work with you or hire you or it's just a different crowd.
Yeah, okay. So what are some of your tips with going live quite a few times on LinkedIn now that'll help us have more success once this isn't available for us all to have?
Boy, I think, again, I've been live streaming for years. I started on Meerkat and Periscope, then Facebook Live came out. This is an acquired skill. I mean, you have to practice. You can't expect, especially if you've never live streamed before, you can't expect to just hit the ground running. And no matter what kind of tips I give you, when you broadcast live for the first time, you're going to stumble. You're going to struggle, especially if you're doing it by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the ability to speak to camera one-to-one is really tricky.
Yes.
So again, when you're using one of these third-party apps, I think a great idea would be to come up with a series where you're going to be speaking to somebody else, whether it's like this in person, great to see you as always, by the way, or we're using a third-party app like StreamYard, which I know you love, or some of these other apps, right, where you're having a conversation, and I think that can come across more naturally, where you're able to sort of pose some questions and sort of have a strategy. Don't ever have a script, but have an idea of what you want to cover. That's another big question we get all the time as live streamers, is the idea, and I know we're not live right now, but the idea of balancing communicating with the audience that's watching live versus delivering on the content idea.
I think that this sounds like one of those things where it's like it's about having a structure in place for what you're trying to accomplish in your live stream. Like I think probably in LinkedIn case, very specifically, don't just go live to go live. Go live with like a strategy and a purpose and something that you really want to strategically deliver.
I would say never go live just for the sake of going live.
Yeah.
I mean, again, maybe there's some sort of breaking news happening, or you're getting a chance to have a conversation with a keynote speaker or something exciting where like you want to share that moment. Okay, that counts.
Yes.
That's a good purpose.
Yes.
Right? There's something interesting and exciting about that. that. But especially on LinkedIn, I'd love to know if I'm gonna spend time watching a video, especially on LinkedIn, I want to know what I'm going to learn in the time that you're going to be speaking to us.
That I would think would have value for my business, right?
Right. And then part of the benefit of being there live is that additional ability to interact and engage in real time.
Yes.
So if you're watching live and you ask a question in the comments, all of a sudden now I can answer Desiree's question and I can add value to everyone who's watching on the replay and everything as well, but also directly add additional value to you because that's what you're curious about.
So are there any other unique things about going live on LinkedIn that maybe we should do besides having, I think, the basics of live streaming? Sounds like the basics of live streaming that we all talk about and different. If you're looking for more options, obviously to scroll through the YouTube channel that to help you with live streaming. But is there anything more specific about LinkedIn Live that we should be aware of or take note of for this platform?
I think it's always about identifying who your audience is, right? So you know that you've connected with certain people, and you can use LinkedIn outside of the live video stuff to connect with the people that you want to see your content, where they might not add you on Facebook, they might not add you on Twitter. So I think regardless of the platform, it's always about understanding exactly who you're speaking to and delivering your content ideas to them in their language.
Yes.
Right? So I've tried to dress up a little bit more on LinkedIn Live. I tried to think of it as a job
the audience, it sounds like.
but you never know who's going to see that content, especially now on a brand new platform. This may be someone's, you've done 1 million live videos, so have I. But someone on LinkedIn may be seeing us for the first time. So always remember that this impression that you're making may be the first impression, and if it's not a good one, it may be the last impression. I don't know that there's anything really beyond specific to LinkedIn Live. I mean, I can show you you can't see the comments that are coming in, so you have to have like a second screen set up, if you've seen me do LinkedIn Live, you notice me looking over to like a laptop or something.
Yeah.
It's just because they're still working through a lot of the bugs and the kinks. But I would say it's a really wonderful opportunity to connect with some of these leaders like Goldie Chan is here and Kathy Hackle is here. Some of these pioneers, it's a great opportunity to get their attention and be able to connect. Whereas we try and craft that perfect 200 character note, I'm going to connect and I'm going to send this personalized message. Well, what could be more personalized than watching somebody on their live video?
Yeah, talking to them
and
directly.
Communicating and engaging and showing your support by being there live in the moment.
Yeah. Okay,
right?
Very cool. All right, so obviously we talked about LinkedIn Live. So Chris, how can people follow you on LinkedIn?
My LinkedIn page is the same as all my other social media channels. It's just at Chris Strub. I'll probably be live on LinkedIn here from Social Media Marketing World, and generally I go live every Thursday. I think that's the other key though too. It's all about consistency.
Oh, yeah.
I talk all the time about consistency is greater than frequency. Like if you miss one of Desiree's live shows, you know that you're going to be able to check that out the following week,
Yes.
week. And if you're really into it, now you can go the opposite direction. And let's say you watch the show with me and Desiree, and you say, oh my God, this girl is amazing. I need to learn more about it. Now people can dive into that content,
they can replay,
that rabbit hole,
they can binge and
they
Netflix
can look
it up,
back and see, oh, well, you talked about live video, or you talked about Facebook ads, or you talked about chatbots. Right now you have that whole catalog. So I love using that phrase, be the Netflix of your niche.
Oh, that is great.
Right? I think I stole that from
Netflix of your niche.
Yeah. Credit to Roberto Blake, though. I mean, that is my boy.
Yes.
But think of yourself as a resource to your audience and how people can turn to you, and what you would expect to see, from an episodic, from a regular basis, no matter which platform you're on.
Perfect. Thank you so much for giving us this wonderful insight into LinkedIn Live, and make sure you guys go follow Chris over on LinkedIn and all his other social platforms at Chris Strub. If you want to check out more interviews from Social Media Marketing World 2019, hit the playlist on the screen right now. And like we always say, military life is never goodbye. See you soon. So until next time. See you soon.
You're the best.